Hi everyone! Welcome to your training on the Chicago Manual of Style, or CMS for short. My name is Frida Arenos, and I am the Director of Resources and Training for the Journal of International Service, or JIS. I hope you will find this training useful not only as a member of JIS, but also as a student of the School of International Service. Please let me know if you have any questions or if any of the information found within this training is counter to what you have learned from professors or other sources. The information here has been adopted from the 16th edition of the Chicago Manual of Style, so it is possible that if you learned the Chicago style prior to 2010, you may have acquired techniques from the prior version. Also, the Turabian style, often used in tandem with Chicago, is ever so slightly different, so if you've learned to use both Chicago and Turabian interchangeably, you may notice some slight differences. Please feel free to use this training as a resource and guide throughout your time here at AU. It will be helpful to have the handout entitled Chicago Manual of Style Formatting Guidelines handy while you take this training, as it details specific examples of different kinds of citations and bibliography entries. This handout was provided in your packet of JIS onboarding materials. For this training, I have provided a recording of each slide for those who would like to listen along. Of course, the information I have recorded is almost exactly the same as what appears on the screen, so if it is easier for you to mute the recording and read along instead, that is perfectly all right. This training is designed to cater to those of both audio and visual learning styles, so please do what is best for you. At the end of this training, you will be required to take a short 15-question quiz, the questions of which have been created from information directly off these slides. I would allot 30 minutes to complete both the training and the quiz together. I don't think you'll need that much time, but just a safe estimate so you can take your time and really learn the material. Again, if you have any questions about this training or about the resources and trainings I offer in general, please do not hesitate to contact me directly. My contact information can be found on the last slide of this training. All right, let's get started. Here's a presentation outline of what we will cover during this training. First, we will cover what is CMS. Then I will quickly show you some major points from the Modern Language Association, MLA, and the American Psychological Association, APA, which are other commonly used academic styles. I'm happy to provide extensive trainings on either of these resources, should you find yourself using them in classes and organizations outside of JIS. After, I will cover the CMS general guidelines, followed by major paper sections, including title page and main body headings. Next, we will take a look at how to place and cite tables and figures, followed by an overview on footnotes, the major characterizing element of CMS. Finally, I will cover how to cite specific items, including books, periodicals, and journal articles, and websites. I will then briefly go over the use of IBID and IDIM. The training will conclude with an overview of how to craft your bibliography. I've also included a slide on CMS author date in text citations, which we will not use in JIS. However, since it is a form of CMS, I figured I would at least describe it so you're able to recognize its use in published works. Okay, so what is CMS? The Chicago Manual of Style, often referred to as the Editor's Bible, was established in 1891 by the University of Chicago Press. The first edition was not published until 1906, and it has since had 16 formal editions published, the most recent being in 2010. CMS is most often used in historical journals and social science publications, and it is of course the official style of the School of International Service. The Turabian style was established in 1937 and is 99% similar to CMS with the exception of a few slight grammatical differences. Turabian is also generally used in reference to academic research papers, whereas CMS and other styles such as the Modern Language Association, MLA style, and the American Psychological Association, APA style, are used for publications. CMS has a general guideline for formatting and grammar and uses two main themes for citing references. The first is notes and bibliography, which is characterized by footnotes throughout the paper and the style for which you will use in JIS. This theme is common in the humanities, literature, history, and the arts. The other theme, called author date citation, is similar to MLA and APA styles in that it references author information within the body of the text, with sources briefly cited in text parentheses by author's last name and the date of publication. Citations are then amplified in a list of references at the end of the publication, complete with full bibliographic information. Here I have outlined the major characteristics of both the Modern Language Association (MLA) style and the American Psychological Association (APA) style. Whereas you will not use these in JIS, many professors in the School of International Service prefer the use of APA style specifically, so it is important to at least recognize these styles for your own academic career. AU's Writing Center has a complete guide on the differences between MLA and APA, so definitely be sure to visit the center for resources on these styles. Okay, so the Modern Language Association, MLA. It was established in 1883 for classical language societies. It is used mostly in the liberal arts and humanities, and it is common in primary and secondary schools and within language and literature studies. It is a parenthetical system for referencing within text with author last name and page number. And please refer to these examples. Areno said that graduate school is fun, page 6. Graduate school is a lot of work, Arenos, page 6. Arenos worked hard in her first year of graduate school, page 6. The American Psychological Association, APA, was established in 1929 by psychologists, anthropologists, and business managers. It's used in many social sciences and nursing, education, and anthropology. It is also a parenthetical system for referencing within the text with the author's last name and year of publication. Here are some examples. According to Arenos, 2016, graduate school is fun. Graduate school is a lot of work. Arenos, 2016, page 6. Arenos worked hard in her first year of graduate school. Arenos, 2016. All right, now let's go over the CMS general guidelines. Of course, our JIS article formatting will be different than this in its final presentation. However, for the purpose of submissions, articles should be in the following format for the consistency of editing. Margins should be between 1 inch and 1.5 inches. Typeface should be Times New Roman size 12 or no less than 10, please. Text should be double spaced with the following exceptions. Prose quotation of 5 or more lines are single spaced and blocked, and bibliography and notes are single spaced. The page number should be in the top right header, beginning on the first page of text. Okay, let's go over major paper sections in CMS. It is important to note that in a formal paper submission, the Chicago style requires a cover page. The title is centered about a third of the way down the page and is in all caps. If you have a subtitle, be sure to end your leading title with a colon. The subtitle should then appear on the line below the lead title. Your name and class information should follow several lines after the title, followed by the date. Chicago also has specific formatting guidelines when it comes to the major paper sections of the main body of your paper. Level 1 titles, as shown here, are bold, centered, and headline style capitalization, meaning that all major words are capitalized with the exception of words like to, and, if, etc. Level 2 titles are also centered and headline style capitalization, but no bold. Level 3 titles are bold, flush left, and headline style capitalization. Level 4 titles are flush left and sentence style capitalization, meaning only the first word of the title and any other pronouns are capitalized. Level 5 titles are embedded within the text and are bolded to begin the paragraph for which they reference. They also use sentence style capitalization and include a terminal period. Please note that it is very uncommon to use more than 2 or 3 levels of titles within a master's level academic paper. It is, however, important to recognize the various levels in the event you need to use them. Should you add a table or figure to your paper, Chicago requires that they be positioned after the paragraph of which they are described. That means the paragraph about your table should come before the table. Tables and figures must be cited in the following format: source and then a colon. There's no need for a numeric superscript here, as you will have a chance to list it in the bibliography. Be sure to read your tables and figures consecutively, followed by a period, as listed in the picture here, which says Table 1. Also, be sure to identify tables and figures by their number within your text and not by the page number on which they coincide. Okay, Now we will get into the nuts and bolts of Chicago notes and bibliography. Chicago is almost always characterized by the use of footnotes, which are cited using a numeric superscript. Footnotes should begin with the number 1 and follow consecutively throughout the paper. Please note that the first time you cite a source in a footnote, you must include all of the source's relevant information. That includes the author's full name, the source title, its facts of publication, page numbers, and website, etc. For any consecutive mentions of this source, just include the author's last name, the source title, and the page number off which you've cited the information. Okay, here I have included a picture of where to find the superscript function in Microsoft Word. If you align your mouse with where you want your superscript to go, then go to the Reference tab and click Insert Footnote. A superscript will appear within the text and at the bottom of your page. The corresponding number will appear for you to list your citation information as pictured here. I will now go over some of the most common citations that you will use in your papers. Please refer to the handout entitled Chicago Manual of Style Formatting Guidelines for a more complete list of citation examples. To cite a book, please use the following format when you first cite the source, and be sure to indent the first line of your source 5 spaces or by 1 tab. Word should do this for you automatically, but it is important to note that only the first line of the source of the footnote is indented, and all consecutive lines are flush left. The source should read the author's first name and then last name, the title of the book in italics, the place of publication, publisher, and year of publication in parentheses, followed by the page number. Any consecutive mentions of the same book can use the following format: the author's last name, the title of the book in italics, and the page number off which you cited the information. For the bibliography, the format is a little different. Please note that unlike a footnote, the first line of text in a bibliography entry is not indented, whereas all consecutive lines of text are indented 5 spaces or 1 tab. So for citations or footnote, the first line of text is indented 5 spaces and all consecutive lines are flush left, and the bibliography is flipped. The first line is flush left and all consecutive lines of text are indented. Also note that the bibliography negates the parentheses around the publication information for books. For books with 2 authors, separate their full names by "and" in both the footnote and the bibliography. And for books with 4 or more authors, please list just the first author's full name followed by et al., which means "and others," in the note and in the bibliography. List all of the authors' names out. Electronic books are very similar for both notes and bibliography. The main difference is that you are adding the book's URL and its access date. Again, please note the negation of the parentheses in the bibliography here. Also, I added a note here. If you run into a situation where there is more than one publishing location listed for a book, just use the location that is listed on the title or copyright pages. All right, citing a periodical or journal article. Similarly to a book, the first time you list the source, you include both the first name and last name of the author. Here, instead of italics, you place your title in quotes, and you include any relevant volume and issue information. The year of publication is now placed in parentheses, followed by the page number or numbers. Remember to indent the first line of your footnote reference 5 spaces. For any consecutive mention of this source, just use the last name of the author, the title of the article, and the pages off which you cited the source. The bibliography is very similar: last name, first name of author, title of article, journal title and volume/issue information, and year of publication, followed by the page number or numbers. You may notice that the parentheses remain in the bibliography here. That is because it is a journal article, and Chicago maintains its parentheses for journals and periodicals in the bibliography for the date. Also notice that the first line of a reference in the bibliography is flush left, whereas all consecutive lines are indented 5 spaces. Online journal footnotes are very similar: first name, last name of author, title of article, followed by journal title and publication information, volume number, year of publication, and a page number. Here you will include the access date in the format month, day, year, for example, October 10, 2010, and the DOI, if there is one. If not, that is okay. Just enter the URL instead. And here you can see the bibliography for an online journal is similar to a print journal. Last name, first name of author, title of article in quotes, journal title followed by volume number or issue number, your year of publication, and the page number or numbers. When citing a website, it is really very simple. Be sure to at least include the title of the web page, its last modified date, and the site's URL. If the page does not have a clear title, just list what you can, be it an organization or page name, and its last modified date and URL. For a website's bibliography, be sure to include the website name, for example, Google, the title of the website, and its last modified date in addition to the URL. I've made a note here that it can be difficult to find all of the relevant information on a web page, so I've pasted specific examples from the Chicago Manual of Style online with regards to referencing websites if you have difficulty finding all the relevant information required for a citation. I've added a slide on IBID and IDIM, although you shouldn't have to use them too often. IBID is the abbreviation of IBIDIM, which means in the same place. It can be used in the footnote to cite the work that is immediately preceding that note. Take a look at the example I've listed here. Arenos, How to Be the Best Writer in the World, 500. IBID, 501 to 503. IBID, 506 to 510. Idiom, which is ever more rare and even discouraged by Chicago, means the same. It can be used in the place of the author's name, except in legal references, when several works by the same person are cited in the same note. All right, let's briefly go over the main points on your bibliography page. We've covered how your references should be listed. However, it is important to note that Chicago requires a specific style for its bibliography page. The title is just that, bibliography. You should not bold bibliography and you should not list references by number. Instead, references should be listed in alphabetical order by the author's last name. Also, as we discussed previously, the first line of each reference is flush left, whereas all consecutive lines of text are indented 5 spaces, or by one tab. I've made a note here to remember to remove hyperlinks from websites that are listed. It can be very distracting when you turn in a paper online and the professor sees a hyperlinked website in the bibliography, as it creates an underline in that indented empty space. It just looks sloppy, so I'd make a point to go through your bibliography and remove all the links before turning a paper in. And just some general rules of thumb, which we've already covered. Unlike in the notes, the bibliography requires that you list the author's last name first and remove the parentheses from the publication information, except in the event of a journal article or periodical, in which case you leave the parentheses around the year the article was published. Lastly, I wanted you to be able to recognize Chicago Style's author date in text citations. Again, you will not use these for the purpose of JIS, but it is important to understand what it is and what it looks like. For an in-text citation, you would include in parentheses the last name of the author followed by the year of publication, not separated by a comma, and then the page number. The bibliography is as follows for a book: last name, first name, year of publication, title of publication in italics, city of publisher, colon, name of publisher. For an article, it is last name, first name, year of publication, title of article in quotes, article publication, volume number, and page number. Website. Website name, year of website publication, title of web page, date of last modification, and the URL. All right, well, that concludes the training on the Chicago Manual of Style. Again, please let me know if you have any questions. And here's my bio and contact information, so please do reach out if you have any questions at all. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the training, and I look forward to working with you at JIS.